Good evening. Welcome to the regularly scheduled school board meeting of Tuesday, September 22nd, 2015 for Independent School District 13, Columbia Heights, Minnesota. If you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you and welcome again. Laura, if you would, please call the roll.
Lewis.
Here.
Landwehr.
Here.
Larkin.
Here.
Nichols.
Here.
Palmer. Here. And Superintendent Kathy Kelly.
Here.
Thank you, Laura. Our mission statement: Columbia Heights Public Schools create worlds of opportunity for every learner in partnership with supportive small-town communities by challenging all to discover their talents, unleash their potential, and develop tools for lifelong success. Our core values are community, excellence, collaboration, integrity, respect, courage, and innovation. Next up on the agenda would be the agenda approval, adjustments, announcements, and correspondence. First up is the approval of the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Laura, second by Molly. Discussion. Member Landwehr.
I want to speak my opposition to the resolution at the end of the action items, urging the resignation of a school board member. This matter has been discussed already as far as removal of a school board member, so I don't believe this is appropriate for our agenda.
I believe in light of the situations over the last week, it's definitely worth consideration, and I'd like to discuss this.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'm going to opt for a roll call, please, Laura. I want a roll call.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Nichols.
Aye.
Palmer. Aye.
Okay, next up, announcements. October 13th, Tuesday, 7 p.m., regular school board meeting here in the community room. October 15th and 16th, no school teacher convention. October 20th, Tuesday at 5 p.m., school board listening session in the Family Center. October 20th, Tuesday at 5:30, a school board work session in the community room. October 27th, Tuesday at 7 p.m., regular school board meeting, again here in the community room. Next up is correspondence. Superintendent Kelly, is there any correspondence tonight?
Mr. Chair, members, there's no correspondence this evening.
Thank you. Before we move forward, I just want to take a moment and talk a little bit about the structure of our meeting tonight and what you can expect and what the expectations are of everyone here. I'm normally not a reader, but again, this evening I want to make sure that I cover the points that I need to and that everything is clear. So please bear with me as I read through my statement. And I just want to say, as difficult as I know last week's special call meeting was, I suspect tonight will be even harder. For those of you that were here last week, please bear with me as I explain the format and the expectations for tonight. I will again ask that everyone in the audience here tonight remain respectful of each other. Please allow whomever is speaking to be heard. I would ask everyone to take a page from our students' playbook and let's keep it real. Actually, let me back up. The expectation I have of the audience tonight is to be respectful, but I have the same expectation of the members of the board, myself included tonight, that we're respectful. So you can look for that as well. Officially tonight, we are here to do business of the board. It's a regularly scheduled board meeting. The day-to-day things we're supposed to be doing at our meetings. I have no illusions that everyone is here tonight to watch and listen as board receives information from staff regarding the regular business of the board. I'll take this opportunity to explain the steps moving forward tonight. First up will be communications to the board. Under this topic, there will be an opportunity for people to address the board and provide input. If you would like to speak, please fill out a blue card completely. Someone at the table will be calling you up tonight. And given the expectation of the people that want to speak, we're going to ask you to keep your comments to 3 minutes. If you would, and Bill, if you'd raise your hand. Bill has cards over here. I didn't explain this as thoroughly as I probably could have last week. He's going to start card. He's got, I believe, is it a 1-minute card? And then there'll be a stop card. What I would ask you to do if the stop card goes up, I'm not expecting you to stop mid-sentence, but I certainly would ask you at that point to close out your remarks so that we can continue to move forward efficiently tonight in the meeting. So as you're speaking, kind of glance over towards Bill. Bill, if you would, please. When you come to the table, I would ask that you state your name and your address for the audience. Following communications to the board, we'll move forward with the items that are on our agenda. If you don't have an agenda in front of you, I'll read them to you as far as what we're going to be doing tonight. It'll be communications to the board. There's a consent agenda, which includes a personnel report. There'll be a resolution with acknowledgments of contributions. Under discussions, reports, and information items, you'll hear reports from members of the board. You'll hear a superintendent's report, and then there's information items from members of staff regarding the Association of School Business Officials International, the opening of school building updates, annual report on staff development, and then annual report on curriculum, instruction, and student achievement. Following that will be action items, and tonight on our list is a discussion and a vote on the preliminary levy certification, and then it'll be discussion and a vote on the resolution urging the resignation of school board member Grant Nichols. That's our agenda, followed by board topics if there are any, and then an adjournment of the meeting itself. Contrary to some of the social media posts today, no one from the board will be directly taking questions and responding to the audience. Opportunities for responding have come and gone through due process. The board will have discussions among themselves. You'll have an opportunity to speak. The meeting will continue on as it normally would. When we get to the action items, the conversation will take place. All conversation tonight will take place among the board members, so please respect that. Okay. And with that said, we will move forward to communication to the board. Yep.
Connie Bernardi.
It includes a personnel report. Could I have a motion to move that forward, please? Molly? Laura, second. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is acknowledgement of contributions. Could I get a motion to move that forward, please?
So moved.
Ted?
Second.
Grant? I will read it, and then there'll be a discussion. Acknowledgement of contributions resolution. Whereas Minnesota Statute 123B.02 permits school boards to receive for the benefit of the district bequests, donations, or gifts for any purpose, any proper purpose, and apply the same to the purpose designated. In that behalf, the board may act as trustee of any trust created for the benefit of the district and for the benefit of pupils thereof. Therefore, be it resolved, the School Board of Columbia Heights Public Schools, Independent School District Number 13, that the school board accepts with appreciation the contributions detailed in the background in the amount of $2,448.19. Detailed background monetary, a donation of $175 was made to Highland Elementary by Target Corporation, thanks a billion, Program for Student Needs. A donation of $550 was made to Valley View Elementary by Target Corporation, thanks a billion, Program for Student Needs. A donation of $320 was made to Valley View Elementary by Wells Fargo, Matching Gifts Program for Student Needs. And a donation of $120 was made to Valley View Elementary by Wells Fargo, Community Support Campaign for Student Needs. Value in kind, donations of school supplies to Valley View Elementary by Mark Emmy for school needs, estimated value of $625. Donation of school supplies to Valley View Elementary by Barb Nundahl for school needs, estimated value of $25. Donation of funding for the supplies of a kindergarten classroom project called Making Math Meaningful to Highland Elementary by DonorsChoose.org, estimated value $550. Donation of moving boxes to Columbia Heights Public School District by Beth Solomon for district needs, estimated value $28.91. Donation of pencil sharpener, pencils, and erasers to Columbia Heights High School by Beth Salmon for AP student testing needs, estimated value $54.28. Total fiscal year 2015-2016 monetary contributions to date, $4,948.19. Discussion. Roll call, please, Laura.
Lewis.
Aye.
Landwehr.
Aye.
Larkin.
Aye.
Nichols.
Aye.
Palmer. Aye.
Moving forward, discussion reports, information items, reports from members of the board. Board members will report on board activities since the last regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Education. I personally will defer my report to another meeting. Molly?
I'll do the same.
Ted?
I'll just mention that I attended AMSD meeting. There's some interesting findings from a survey they took of Minnesotans, and I'll include those in the board, or I'll give those to Superintendent Kelly for including in the board packet. Also attended a WEMEP meeting with Superintendent Kelly and and several of the superintendents in the area in the collaborative to help define WEMEP and give it direction. So I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you. Laura?
I'll defer till another meeting.
Thank you. Grant?
Too much to report, so.
Okay, thank you. Next up is the superintendent's report.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, I'll defer my report in deference to time.
Thank you. Next up will be information items. The first one is the Association of School Businesses Officials International Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting Award. And scooting up to the table right now is our Director of Finance, Bill Holmgren.
I'd like to ask my staff to stay late tonight to come on up to the table, please. Chair Larkin, members of the school board, and Superintendent Kelly. This is the 8th year that we have received the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting from ASBO. They're an international organization, and what they look at, we are really looking at the, what's kind of like the gold standard of financial reporting when we look at school districts, okay? We have over 400 school districts in the state of Minnesota, and there's only 20 that have received this award. And I want to thank my staff. They do a lot of work every year. They don't always realize they're doing all the work for this award. But quickly, they're not here that very often, so I want to quickly introduce them to you. But down in the end is Lori Nowacki. She's our special ed finance specialist. So she works with all our special ed grants and some of our other federal grants. Britta Whipper, she's relatively new, but she's our administrative assistant in our team. And then we have Kelsey Ashes. She's an accountant upstairs. And then this is Fan Chu. She's my manager of accounting. So I just want to thank them again for what they do for us. And we did receive a nice plaque. And again, this is the 8th year in a row that we've received this award.
Any questions or comments from the board? Laura?
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Bill?
Thanks for staying.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say we're very proud of all of you, and thank you for helping making us proud. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next on the agenda is opening of school building updates. Board will be presented with information on opening of school activities at each building.
Superintendent Kelly, Chair Larkin, members of the board. In deference to time, the principals withdraw their report for this evening.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is the annual report on staff development. The board will be presented with information on the annual staff report. Director of Teaching and Learning, Zena.
Chair Larkin, Superintendent Kelly, members of the board, we are here this evening to present to you the annual staff development report, and I'd like to introduce to you our staff development coordinator, Jennifer Babish. Hello.
Hi, Jennifer.
As always, we focus on our district mission and all of our core values. We are here to present you with an information item that we have 3 goals in our staff development report. The areas of focus are increasing reading proficiency, increasing math proficiency, and increasing positive learning environments. I'm happy to report to you that we offered 437 professional development opportunities to our staff last school year from June 14 to June 15, and with a long list of topics. So as I mentioned earlier, our first goal was math, increasing our math. We do this through cognitively guided instruction, technology integration. We partner with the Region 11 partnership, and our teachers work collaboratively for the best growth, incremental growth of their children. The second goal is around closing the achievement gap. We do this in a variety of formats, and we have been for a long time with our school-based equity teams, district equity team, AVID, and responsive classroom. Our third goal focuses around reading, and we make sure that our students can read in all of the content areas, not just in their English class or their reading class. The impact on student learning, when looking at the impacts on students, we are finding that most of our students are making medium to high growth. And we're also finding consistent impacts on our teacher practice with common strategies across our district in a variety of areas.
So as we look ahead to our district-wide PD areas of focus this year, we will continue our professional learning in college and career readiness, 21st century life skills, and closing the achievement gap. Also, as we look at our key processes, we've really found working with our peer reviewers and principals working together to support new teacher evaluation has been very successful, along with looking at our teacher leadership teams, our equity teams for the vertical articulation, and our professional learning communities. And we also look with our partnership with the University of Minnesota with literacy and math. Our focus is to continue to align our district, school, and individual goals using Charlotte Danielson's framework for teaching, which you will see here. And we'd like to end with a quote from Sitting Bull. Let us put our minds together and see what life we can make for our children. Thank you.
Questions, comments from the board? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up will be the annual report on curriculum, instruction, and student achievement.
Chair Larkin, Superintendent Kelly, members of the board, Director Mann and I are here to present to you the annual World's Best Workforce Report. Again, in Columbia Heights, we create worlds of opportunity for every learner, and we focus on all of our core values. So before you, you can see a draft copy, and you have one in your packet of the upcoming annual report. So we're here to present this to you as an information item. We're really proud to showcase all of our schools in this World's Best Workforce Report. In order to comply with the statute, the annual report will be mailed to homes and posted to our website. We also have a summary report which will be posted to our website. So again, this is a draft copy. The annual report begins by outlining the components of the world's best workforce. Here we highlight Heights Pride with our Teacher of the Year, Employee of the Year, Program of Distinction, Superintendent's Above and Beyond Award, and Alumni of Distinction. On this page, we communicate the benchmarks and life skills needed to become prepared for college and career. This document is on our website in a dynamic form so that parents can view it and click through and get more information about each of our assessments and requirements and benchmarks. We have found that by explicitly talking about and teaching the life skills to students, that they are able to better articulate what their academic goals are and how to reach them. This page outlines facts and figures for our district. And then we begin by showcasing our early childhood programs and each one of our schools: Highland Elementary, North Park Elementary, Valley View Elementary, Columbia Academy, and Columbia Heights High School. The back page also provides information for each of our contact information for each of our schools, along with a QR code that will direct community members and family members or students to the required information that will be posted on our website once approved at our next meeting. In addition, the support document will show how our district strategic plan, strategic directions A, B, and C align directly with the World's Best Workforce, along with our Title I plan, our Read Well by Third Grade plan, our Achievement and Integration plan, and all of the other required plans. So as an example, you can see our strategic direction A is to expand access and opportunities by turbocharging what works and redesigning what needs to be better. So we've been able to align the 5 required areas of the World's Best Workforce to each of our strategic directions, A, B, and C. This, like as I mentioned before, will be posted on our website, and family members or community members will be able to go through and click if they want more information or have questions about some of the specifics. So as an example, if anyone had a question about AVID, they would click the highlighted link and they would come to the AVID page. So the report goes on, and you will receive an updated information item in your packet on Friday. So to conclude, there are many different components of this plan that demonstrate how Columbia Heights Public Schools is striving to create the world's best workforce.
Thank you. Questions or comments?
Just one comment. Is interactive.
On the website, people will be able to
That's-
click through if they have questions. We
That's-
found that as a...
That's wonderful. That really is. So I can learn something if I go on there. Good job. It must have been a lot of work to align all of that stuff. Good work.
Anyone else? Questions? Comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving forward to our action items. First up is the preliminary levy certification. The board will be asked to approve the preliminary levy certification. Bill Holmgren.
Chair Larkin, members of the school board, and Superintendent Kelly. Every year we have to do a preliminary levy, what we plan to put together for December. We have to have it done by the end of September. That way this goes out to the counties, and then the information gets sent out to all of our landowners before we actually certify the levy in December. When we look at our levy, and remember this levy is for pay 2016, but it's actually for the school year 16-17. You can see our enrollment's really been growing the last few years. Has slowed down in 15, and we're at this point we haven't figured in any increase at all going into 16. We want to be conservative with our budget. Just quickly want to go through here. You can see how our enrollment's gone from 3,000 approximately in 2012. We're at 3,100 now, 2016. Our net task capacity, remember, over the last few years has been shrinking, especially when we went through 2008, 2009, we really saw a recession going on. You can see, though, in 2000, from 10 to 11, you saw a decrease still in 12 and 13, but now in 2014, and all this information is always like a year behind because we don't have all the information from the Department of Revenue yet, but you see that we have a relatively large increase now back into our net tax capacity. So everybody's property values are worth more now than they were a year ago. So this is good news. And then a sales ratio. Again, the sales ratio the Minnesota Department of Revenue looks at, well, if your house is worth this, the county says your house is worth this, but you're really selling for this, that's called the sales ratio. So even though, a few years ago, when we looked at 2010, the actual appraised value of a home in our community was actually worth more than they could sell it for. Now you see now in 2014, that dropped back down to 92.6%, where that now houses as they sell them are worth more than what it's appraised at. And I think we'll continue to see that decrease when we get back close to the numbers we had before 2008, which were between 80 and 85%. But how this works is the county or the state legislature, because of they know that houses are selling for more than what they're appraised at, then they're going to use that sales ratio to really tax you on the adjusted net tax capacity, so what they think you can sell your house for. So that's what this is about. I'll quickly go through it. We went through a lot of these numbers in detail a week ago, and I told you we were working with MDE trying to get it kind of solidified. We still aren't have the final numbers, but we've dropped it quite a bit. So when you look at our equity revenue, our location revenue, and our referendum, we saw some pretty hefty increases in adjustments last week. Now most of those adjustments are pretty much gone. So we're only seeing a change now in the way that the state of Minnesota is equalizing the aid and levy. So you see these increases on the first three pieces. This is because we're receiving less aid and we're actually levying for more money. So the total dollars for these three items are the same, but our levy is going to be higher. Student achievement levy, you see that's a very small increase. Abatement adjustments, these are really back taxes that we receive from the state of Minnesota, actually Anoka County. Anyway, that's our general fund. So you can see that a week ago we were talking about $800,000 increase there, and it's only $500,000. Whoop. And we look at our integration, you see that we have a relatively large decrease there. That's because remember there was an adjustment the year before. It was a one-time adjustment, so that goes back down. Our safe schools up a little bit. Biggest piece that it's up is 916. But they aren't levying at the total that they can. So we're actually lower than it might have been. Our career and tech is based on the number of classes that we have in there. So you can see that's relatively the same. Our reemployment dollars, these are actual dollars that we're reimbursing unemployment. And then there's very few adjustments. Look at our operating capital. Operating capital, again, the same thing is happening here where overall, we get the same dollars, but our levy's up a little bit and our aid is down a little bit when you look at our operating capital. When you look at health and safety, you can see that this year it's at $528,000, and we talked about this last week. The $528 is actually an adjustment because of the new deferred maintenance revenue program. This is one place where I think we're still going to be able to drop our levy down a little bit, so we won't see as big increase. So that $528,000, we're going to be able to decrease it. Our lease levy, you see that's way down. That's because we've had excess dollars after we did the new addition on Highland Elementary School. There were some dollars left over, so now these dollars are going back to our taxpayers. And the capital projects levy, of course, this is the brand new levy that we just put in place from the vote a year ago. Community education, same thing's happening here. You see a little bit of our basic levy is a little higher. That's an equalization change again, where we're levying a little more and getting a little less aid from the state of Minnesota. The school age care continues to increase a little bit, and what this school age care is actually special ed students who are involved in our after school or before school programs, and we get reimbursed for those through our levy. For extra staff we have to have for special ed students. And then our debt service levy, of course, that's down a little bit again. Same thing there. Every year we can actually levy 105% of what we owe, which we usually do in case someone hasn't paid their taxes and we have enough cash to make our payments. But then as that fund has extra money in it, because we are levying the 105, we give those dollars back. So that's that minus 60,000, that's money going back to our taxpayers. Okay, so just a little summary here. You'll see then our general fund then, total pay for 2016 is at $6.5 million. Community Service Fund is at $500,000, and the debt redemption there at $2 million. We talked last week about that being about an 8.5% increase. We're down to only a 5% increase, and I expect it to be less, and we'll give you more information as we go. So for this evening, what I need you to do is I need a motion, because there'll be some more small adjustments from MDE, and enrollment's going to be able to get firmed up. As you know, when school starts, we never really know how many students we have until they all are sitting in the chairs. So what we ask the board every year to do is for tonight, pass the maximum, and then that way we don't miss anything as we go through this fall. And then we'll discuss this again at the end of November. We'll have the hard numbers to go forward. Any questions?
Comments, questions?
Well, I guess I do have one question. Is the increase primarily, you said, I believe at our work session, that it's due to the state not funding us as
Yeah.
much as they did in the past?
Well, we're seeing about, there's a tier system. So the first $500,000 that we have in our operating levy, that's gone up 3% over to levy. And the second tier is the next $880,000. That's actually gone up 4%. So that's the changes that we're seeing in those first three line items, and that's where our big changes are for this year's levy.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
And as I understand, we always, you always ask for the maximum. That's because you can only put in one levy.
Yeah. Well, what would
File
happen?
one levy.
What would happen if we didn't do the maximum? We would have to pick a number, say we pick the number tonight, but then if something happens, there was some formula change or something got missed from MDE, and we were all of a sudden short, $50,000, $100,000, we wouldn't be able to get that money. So I always say and I think you'll see probably 99% of the districts across the state, they do the maximum, and then we come back and I go through it in detail again in November.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'll move the motion.
Motion by Ted,
I'll second.
Molly. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the resolution urging the resignation of school board member Grant Nichols. Can I get a motion to move that forward, please?
So moved.
Molly?
Second.
Laura? I'm going to read the motion. Resolution urging the resignation of school board member Grant Nichols. Whereas on September 6, 2015, at approximately 8:20 a.m., a message to the inbox of the school district Facebook page was sent, a copy of which is attached as Exhibit A, alerting the school board to what one of its members, Grant Nichols, had allegedly commented to a post at approximately 5:06 a.m. at the same morning on the Star Tribune Facebook page. Whereas a community member sent an email complaint attached as Exhibit B to the school district administration, all school board members except member Nichols, members of the press, and Islamic and Muslim local organizations. Whereas the complaint includes a copy of the comments allegedly made by member Nichols, which contains disrespectful, demeaning, and offensive remarks regarding individuals of the Muslim community. Whereas the school board chair scheduled a meeting for September 9th, 2015 at 9 a.m. with member Nichols, the school board chair, the human resource director, and the superintendent to discuss the Facebook comment, which member Nichols refused to and did not attend. And whereas member Nichols refused to meet on September 9th, 2015 to discuss the comment, and whereas a special called school board meeting was scheduled and held to discuss these complaints with member Nichols on September 15th, 2015. Whereas member Nichols declined to attend the special meeting of the school board on September 15th, 2015, at which approximately 120 students, staff, and community members attended, and whereas every individual except one of approximately 35 who spoke at the special meeting urged the school board to remove member Nichols from the school board or urge member Nichols to resign. Whereas a majority of those school board members in attendance at September 15th, 2015 special meeting voted to remove member Nichols from the school board under Minnesota Statute 123B.09, and whereas one member voted against the motion to remove member Nichols, causing the motion to fail. Whereas member Nichols' role on the school board continues to create substantial disruption in the educational environment, and whereas member Nichols' conduct is unprofessional, unbecoming of a school board member, And whereas Member Nichols' continued participation as a member of the school board is not in the best interest of the students, staff, school community, now therefore be it resolved by the School Board of Independent School District 13, Columbia Heights, Minnesota, Public Schools as follows. Members Nichols is hereby urged to resign from his role as member of the School Board of Independent School District 13. I want to take a moment to reinforce at this point that this is board discussion, and the board will have conversation, and I would strongly urge you and ask you to refrain from comments and allow the board to do the business of the board. We've been very successful in keeping it real, as the students say. I'm going to ask that that's how we finish our evening. And with that said, I will open it up for discussion, offering individual board members an opportunity to speak to the resolution that is on the table. Anybody
I'd like
want-
to start if I can.
Go ahead, Molly.
I feel, especially Mr. Nichols, with you being here for the first time since we've spoke since September 10th, it's important to address why I was so firm in my stance last week. I think the students have, first of all, made it very clear that no matter what, the responsibility falls on you for your Facebook comments. But I want to point some things out that I'm not quite sure are being understood by some of your supporters that still do exist, although I will say not one student here has stood up and said that you should stay. That's very important to me, that we are listening to the students, because when you were voted in to represent the students of this district and their best interests in the education of every one of these kids. That being said, the comment that you made, in order for those events to have taken place, first of all, you said that your phone was hacked at one point. Another time, you said that your phone was taken from you. And at another point, you said that you let someone use your phone. You made a comment. I will stand by that you made this comment on a Star Tribune Facebook page article. And when you made that comment, in our conversation on September 10th, you also said that it just happened to be a conversation that was going on at your workplace as well. I find it extremely hard to believe all these coincidences would have aligned to stand by your story. Therefore, I really firmly believe that we cannot trust you. I have children in this district, and I do not want you sitting on this board. Our students need to be able to move forward. They need to have leaders in this district that they believe in. I had a lot of notes here, but truly, what they have said tonight should matter the most. I want you to fast forward to June of 2016, when we have the honor and privilege of standing up there and shaking their hands and congratulating them before their family on receiving their diplomas. I don't hear one student here saying that they want to do that with you there. I urge you to take advantage of this opportunity to resign and let this district move forward.
No, please. No. Again, please let the board have their discussion. Thank you. Anybody else want to speak?
Yeah, I think I definitely would like to speak. Grant, last week you weren't on at the meeting, and I really, really believed that you had the best interest of this community. You told me so many times, that being a school board member is a selfless job. And I believe that, and I bought it. I really believed going into that meeting that you would do the right thing. Please do the right thing.
Had any discussion on
I just have a question. Where did this resolution come from? Can you inform us on that?
Yeah, I asked that the resolution be placed as an action item on tonight's agenda.
Okay. Did you draft the resolution?
I
then,
did
or-
not. I requested that the resolution be specific regarding the events that had taken place so that we would be able to spell out exactly why we're asking for the resignation.
I think,
Can I just ask,
Yeah.
who drafted it then? Who drafted the resolution?
The district's attorney.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's important to note that I know for myself, after last week's board meeting, I was approached by members of the community again, primarily parents, asking what else can be done. And I think that as a board, we really struggled. And I do want to take a second, and I know that this is board discussion, but to emphasize, I've heard the community, I've heard the students, and I am so sorry. I don't think anyone is more disappointed than I am that this didn't go through the way we wanted it to last week. We need to be able to move forward, and the events of the last week have been more disturbing even than the original comment. I don't know if I should say that, that may not be fair, but it truly, the last week, the disruption that these kids are having, they should all be home studying. They should not be here urging someone to resign because they don't trust you. There has been a lot of commotion, and if you two can't understand that, it's very disheartening to me. This does not need to continue.
I do want to add, I also requested that the superintendent draft a resolution urging resignation.
I have a couple comments, but I guess I'd like to give Grant an opportunity to speak if you so wish.
No comment.
Okay. I will start by saying to you, Grant, that I know what you said. I know what took place in that phone call. It's unfortunate that what this has originally came down to was your word against mine. It's past that. It's way bigger than that. I want to back up for a second, and I want to tell the board how proud I am of our students, our staff, and the community at large. In spite of the negative attention Grant's comments has brought to our district, I am proud of our students. They have been recognized at a state and a national level as a model of how to act in response to adversity, especially when Grant says in Facebook, and technology is a wonderful thing, but somewhat painful at times as well, when in a post under Grant Nichols' name says, and some of the stuff was already mentioned, but I will repeat it, when Grant says, our community does not resemble our public schools. I say to our students, you are a part of our community. I'm proud of our staff that has pushed forward and excelled at what they do with our students in spite of being openly called out as a bunch of white, privileged people. Again, a comment made on a Facebook post being attached to Grant Nichols.
Did you read the rest of it?
Huh?
Read the rest of that?
I read the entire thing, or what was visible to me. I guess I'll back up. Fortunately, I know our staff does not see color. They see students, and I'm proud of our community at large. They have risen to the unfortunate occasion and shown overwhelming support for the students and the district. In our conversations, the first conversation that I had with you, all I said was social media post complaints and you needed to come in. We agreed to a meeting at 9 o'clock. You called me later that day, Grant, and you told me you weren't coming in. When I asked, is there a better time or are you not coming in, the first words out of your mouth were, I talked to an attorney and I didn't do anything wrong. Those things indicate that you knew what the comment was and you were defending your actions. When I told you what the comment was, you said, yes, I wrote that. You then professed freedom of speech and reinforced to me your belief that what you do on your own time does not affect the district. Again, statements of acknowledgement, not denial. And if that is not enough, you then told me that the fix was to install bidets to address the unsanitary issue. You shared this with other people as well. The fact that you are providing solutions, as ridiculous as they are, reinforces that you support the statement in spite of your insistent denial, and I believe that that speaks volumes. Your solution to the problem tells me that you agree with the statement, and in the position you are in as a board member, that's unacceptable. Since this has begun, you have exercised your right to post on Facebook. You have, in my opinion, made light of the situation as well as yourself, and I reference the Facebook post that is under your name, that this is how you can tell I did not write something. Something would have been misspelled. And I believe it was defined as a winky face previously. So I don't think this is something that should be joked about. You have threatened, and the gentleman read his text tonight, but it was also posted on a Facebook page, and I believe it was, "I will go after all parties involved." And it appears that you have recently openly reinforced your belief in this statement, this unsanitary statement as well, in a Facebook post, and I will read this. This is as recently as, I believe, Saturday. Someone posted, "But when we open doors or touch doorknobs or anything with our hands, it does affect everyone. There is still right and wrong even in the United States because Jehovah God is still God." The next comment is under your name, and it says, "Research it," with a winky face. Moments later, that comment was removed. This district and the community are way past whodunit. There has been an unprecedented disruption to the student learning
I see that.
environment, the district,
Can
and
I
the
see that?
community at large. Whether you openly take responsibility for your actions or not, for the sake of the students, do what is right for all involved and resign. Now, I asked you, please, stop. Any other comments or discussion regarding the resolution that's on the table?
I just want to say I made my comments at the last board meeting, so.
Okay, thank you. All right. If there's no further discussion, Laura, if you would, please call the roll.
Lewis,
Aye.
Landwehr,
Abstain.
Larkin,
Aye.
Nichols,
Abstain.
Palmer, aye.
Motion carries. Next up on the agenda is, well, maybe I'll just, no, I read the resolution. You know what's on the table. We are up to
Board topics.
board topics. Thank you. Any board topics for tonight?
They only one. I forgot to bring this up at the last meeting, that I believe it's the Highland PTO is seeking recipes. They're putting together a cookbook this year. So I forgot to, it's been a little crazy, but I've got an order, a form to fill out, and they're actually requesting that the board members submit a recipe so that they can put them inside their notebook. And community as well, please.
Okay. And you got mine, right?
That's why, yeah.
The bacon
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
with potatoes and cheese one?
Bacon,
Okay.
potatoes and cheese,
Okay.
bacon wrapped, yummy.
All right. Any other board topics? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to, again, express my concern that we create a policy on phone security and get advice on that, so this does not happen again. So I don't know if we can do that, Superintendent Kelly, but I certainly would be open to that, and I think it would be helpful.
Could you repeat that one more time?
A policy on phone security, electronic device security.
Okay. And I'd leave that to you, Superintendent Kelly, but maybe start with MSBA and see if there's any model policies out there to start with, so. Okay, any other board topics? Okay, if there's no other board topics, we'll adjourn the meeting at 10:10.